Hi and welcome back. Now in this video, I'm going to show you how to create some blues improvisation using the Arpeggiator and the chord track. And I'm using the chord track in a way that's not really intended to be used. I'm going to put in a scale there rather than a chord. With blues or the pentatonic scales, the notes don't actually necessarily match the scale of the key that you're in, and that gives it kind of that unique sound. And I hope you get inspired by this because there's lots of different ways you can use this. So first, I am going to go to the Settings tab and show you that there is a Chords page here. And in the Chords page, you can create a custom chord. And I've created one called the Blues Scale, and the symbol for it is blues. And you can see these pitches 0, 3, 5, 6, 7, 10. If you know anything about music theory, you would say that does not make any sense because the tones for the blues scale are something more like 1 flat 3, 4, flat 5, 5, flat 7. Well, these numbers aren't that. What these numbers are is the relative number of semitones off the root. So this 0 means that you play the root pitch, or it's the root pitch. 3 means 3 semitones, which gives you a flatted third. And then you've got 5, 6, 7, which is actually 4 flat 5, 5. And then 10, there is a flat 7th. None of that really matters because there's an easier way to enter these, but I did want to explain what these numbers are all about. Actually, I'm going to remove this definition right here because we're going to redo it. You could add them here by putting in that kind of formula, but there's another way to do it using MIDI notes. So first I'll put in a blank clip here. So we'll do a MIDI clip. I'll double click to get the editor, increase the size of this, and let's find a C. We're going to do this in the key of C. So I'll choose my pencil tool, and let's zoom in here by rolling over this timeline where we could see about 1 bar. So we're going to start on the C3 and put in the notes of the blues scale. We only need to do it once. This will work for all keys once we've got it in here. So here's the C, and the next note is an E flat. And then we need an F, G flat, G, and then a B flat. And those are all the notes we need. Don't worry about the note colors right now. We do have the note color option turned on here, which gives us note colors. But we're in the key of E because we've got a backing track, but we'll fix that later on. Now I'm going to select these and create a chord from this. And the way you do that is to go into the controls panel, and there's a create chord here. Now there's 2 create chords, so don't be confused by this create chord, which allows you to generate chord formulas. That is the same as the one that's in the MIDI editor right here, chord. This create chord is the one to create a chord formula for use in the chord track. So we'll do create chord. We'll give it the name blues scale, and we'll give it the symbol blues. Here are the pitches, which I described before. We'll click OK. Now back over in the Settings tab, you'll see that we have basically recreated exactly what I deleted before. But if you want to do this in your own songs, then give this a try. So the next thing I'm going to do is go to the chord track and actually enter this chord. I'll drag in a clip. So our key signature is E, which you can see right here. We'll click on this one chord, and we're going to change this to E, and you'll notice our custom defined blues scale is now on the list. So I choose that. Now the notes that I've used aren't all here because that's actually in the key of C. So we just need to select this, and we can either nudge it or drag it until we're on an E note. So I'll just drag them up. Some of these notes are in the scale, the green notes are in the scale, and as we did in the previous video, these yellow notes are in the chord definition, but they're not in the scale. So this is the basic setup. What we want to do is just copy this a few more times. This won't sound particularly good if I play this back. Let me just mute this so you can hear a little bit of the backing track. And then now you can hear the chords. Right, that's what happens if you play the blues scale and just play all the notes at once. But that's not what we're going to do. We are going to arpeggiate them. So let's drag in the arpeggiator. And in the arpeggiator, let's do something like eighth note triplets. Set this to go up a couple of octaves, and we'll just set it to alternate up and down. Let's let that play over our backing track. So it already sounds kind of cool, but the next thing we can do is to just vary what we're putting into it. All right, so I'm going to try something. I'm going to just delete this and drag this out a little bit, see what happens. All right, so I played around with the arpeggiator a little bit, and what seems to work to get some kind of interesting results is to play around with the direction between Alt 1, Alt 2, random. Actually, all of these, it's sort of like you can play these and just keep changing them up. The clock at 1/8 T gives you pretty good results, as well as manipulating the octaves, and it's just a lot of fun. You can also change the notes and their timing at different points in the song as well to get some different results. So there's a little bit of guitar going on within this song. So if I give the guitar a little bit of room. All right, so I took this MIDI clip. I didn't make any changes to it. I just copied it a few times at different parts of the song. I'm going to do a pass through this song. I'm going to play the arpeggiator. And this is kind of how you can do a type of improvised soloing. You don't need to use necessarily a piano sound. This is just an example. You may not want to do this at all. If you can play the piano, if you know a piano player, you'll get much, much better results than this. But for a way to have fun with waveform, this is pretty good deal. Now I've got the chord track going here across this. The only thing the chord track does is help you with note colors in this particular example. Nothing's following the chord track other than it's giving you that reference for note colors in the MIDI editor. One other thing is you could use other scales. Like you could define a pentatonic minor scale, a blues scale, which is the same thing with the flatted fifth, maybe define something like a Dorian mode, which will give you a little more of a jazzy quality in this. I haven't tried that yet, but I would like to try that sometime soon. So anyway, I'm going to play this song, and let's see, I've also got a track with some talking in it. We'll turn that on to make it sound a little more bluesy, and then we're going to let this piano player wail a little bit through this song. Turn the arpeggiator on and see what we can do. Now, I'm not automating anything. I will just be clicking this. If you wanted to record it, you could record the audio to another track, or you could capture the MIDI to another track. You could automate this, I suppose, but it's probably quite a bit of work, and I think it's better just to play the arpeggiator by clicking on it, or you could assign some knobs or something, or controllers to it. All right, here we go. All right, well, I think I've officially lost my mind with this one, but I did have a lot of fun. I hope you enjoyed it. And also, I hope you're inspired to combine these features, the chord track, the arpeggiator, and the other kinds of MIDI tools to do some really interesting things in Waveform. Thanks for watching. I'll see you in another video very soon.